So today we'll be talking about an important topic called mitral valve collapse or MVP. Earlier this condition was called floppy valve syndrome or Barlow syndrome. In exams like NEET PG and USMLE, they prefer to use Barlow syndrome or floppy valve syndrome. So what is MVP or mitral valve collapse? It's a condition in which there is an abnormal protrusion of mitral valve into the left atrium during the phase of systole. So, what is MVP again? It is a condition in which there is an abnormal protrusion of mitral valve into the left atrium during the phase of systole. It can contribute to two things. Due to this protrusion, there is an undue stress on the chorda tentori and papillary muscles as well. And during systole, the chorda tentori is stressed like a rubber band, so it produces a sound called mid-systolic click. And it should not be confused with ejection click. Ejection click is seen in normal people when the aortic and pulmonic valve opens. Then, due to the excessive stretching of the papillary muscles, the subendocardium underneath the papillary muscles may undergo ischemia, predisposing it to premature ventricular compressions or ventricular tachyarrhythmias like ventricular fibrillations also. Now let us talk about the causes of MVP. The most common and most important cause of MVP is because of the myxomatodegeneration of mitral valve, which is basically a defect in type 3 collagen, which can contribute to the degeneration of the myofibrils in the mitral valve. Other connective tissue disorders like Marfan syndromes or Ehlers-Danlos syndromes can also cause MVP. So, Marfan syndrome is a condition in which there's a defective in the fibrillin 1 protein. So the bones of these patients tend to be longer, like the patient may have like long leg or long hand even, and the fingers may be like elongated, and we call it arachnodactyly. And the joints may be hyperextensible, like the thumb can be like beyond taken beyond the wrist, so we call it thumb sign. Then, in case of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, is also called Rubberman syndrome, in which the skin of the patient can be pulled like a rubber. Then, osteogenesis imperfecta can also contribute to the formation of mitral valve prolapse. The patient may come with blue sclera or multiple fractures. So, if the patient come with blue sclera and multiple fractures or palpitations or metastatic leak, we can say this patient has osteogenesis imperfecta or mitral valve prolapse. Then straight back syndrome can also contribute to the formation of mitral valve syndrome. Here is a patient with straight back syndrome where there is an absence of the kyphosis of the chest. So the anterior posterior diameter or the AP is decreased. So the space for the heart is also decreased. So it's like a heart. It's like heart is sandwiched between the vertebra and the sternum. So there's an increased pressure in the left ventricle, which can also contribute to the formation of MVP. Other common condition which can contribute to the formation of mitral valve prolapse is because of the rheumatic fever, which causes degeneration of the mitral valve and can contribute to the formation of MVP. Then subacute bacterial endocarditis or dilated cardiomyopathy, which is associated with alcohol, can also cause. Then like syndrome like atrial septal defect can also contribute to the formation of mitral valve prolapse. Usually, the mitral valve prolapse is seen in female with a female in 15 to 30 years of age. And the clinical presentation is most commonly asymptomatic patient. The patient may not experience any symptoms if the patient or if the patient does not have mitral regurgitation. The patient start to experience symptoms only when after after prolonged period. For example, the patient may experience atypical chest pain, which may be secondary to the ischemia caused by the undue pressure in the papillary muscles. And it can also contribute to the formation of palpitation because of the premature ventricular contraction or ventricular tachyarrhythmias or tachycardia, or maybe due to arterial fibrillation, which may be secondary to the formation of mitral regurgitation. Then the patient may also can come to you because of the infective endocarditis because there is an increased pressure in the mitral valve and which can damage the endocardium and predispose to formation of infective endocarditis. Then, due to damage in the valve, there can be some formation of vegetation which may embolize and form transient ischemia attack. There are some cases where the patient may come to you with transient ischemia attack, like this is the case. Then other rare condition where you can where the patient may come to you is because of the sudden cardiac death, which may be secondary to the mitral regurgitation or left ventricular failure. And on examination, we can see mid-systolic click. So this mid-systolic click is seen in the middle of systole because we have the maximum pressure of the systole in the middle of systole. Then talking about the murmur of the MVP, we have late systolic crescendo decrescendo murmur, and it should not be confused with the murmur of the aortic stenosis, which is crescendo decrescendo murmur. So uh, I'll show you using a graph the difference of these two murmur. In case of aortic stenosis, we have the murmur start from the systole and increase in intensity in the middle of systole and it then decreases. But here, case of MVP, the murmur is followed by, the mid-systolic click is followed by late systolic murmur. So using these two graphs, you can differentiate the murmur of aortic stenosis and the mitral valve prolapse. Then the most common leaflet involved in MVP is posterior leaflet. So if the posterior leaflet is effective, the jet of blood is directed towards the anterior side of the heart. So the murmur is radiated to the base of the heart. But in rare cases, the anterior leaflet may be involved, and the jet of the blood is directed to the posterior to the heart. So the murmur radiate to the axilla, same like in mitral stenosis. Mitral regurgitation. So, but in case of mitral regurgitation, we have pansystolic murmur, which is like which the murmur has same intensity throughout the systole. Now, for workup, we can use ECG or echocardiography. And echocardiography is the gold standard for any valvular lesions. So the valve involved in mitral valve process is like mitral valve. So prefer to use transesophageal echo. And if we find a bulge of more than 2 millimeter, we can confirm the diagnosis of mitral valve collapse. Coming to the treatment of mitral valve prolapse, usually mitral valve prolapse is treated conservatively, like using prophylactic antibiotics to prevent the formation of infective endocarditis and beta blockers to prevent the uh, palpitations or anticoagulation if the patient has like arterial fibrillations, etc. Then in rare cases when the valve is like completely damaged, we prefer to replace the valve or repair the valve.